Thank you, Madam Speaker. Colleagues, last Friday on the way back to district, I did what some of you all will be doing tomorrow. I had a town hall. I stopped in Cascade Locks, our quaint little community there on the Columbia, and met with about 30 constituents, and it was a really good opportunity to reconnect with folks in the district. And I went through kind of the normal spiel about, well, these are the big topics, these are the issues that we're dealing with here in the Capitol and so forth. And then when it got to be the Q&A time, they had one focus and they had one question for me, and that was, what are you guys doing to help our economy? What are you doing to create jobs in Oregon? Because as you well know, that community's been depressed for quite some time. We've lost a lot of people from Cascade Locks, and I personally have had to downsize the schools on multiple occasions because we're just losing students and so forth. So I answered as I could, but following that, I spent the rest of the weekend really racking my brain and trying to think, what are we doing about jobs in this building? And it took me back on a bit of a memory exercise, if you will, and reflecting back to 2 years ago during the 2011 session, when it seemed that jobs and job creation was really all the rage. I mean, it seemed that you could hardly sit through a committee hearing or a floor session in this building without having a member or members talk at length about what they were trying to do to create jobs in Oregon. But this session, it really seems to me that jobs, as in all intents and purposes, kind of become a four-letter word. I don't hear it. You know, I hear crickets out there. And that concerns me because I think we've lost sight of the fact that we need a robust, growing general fund to supply the programs and services that our constituents and that our communities and that our state really needs. And it seems to me that to a large extent we've kind of thrown in the towel on the concept of encouraging economic growth as a means of growing the amount that we have in our general fund to fund our schools and health care and public safety and all those other things that our constituents are so in need of. And what I hear instead is talk about raising taxes, eliminating deductions, removing compression limits on property taxes and all of that. And if that's the course we take, you know, I fear that what we're doing is we're telling the rest of Oregon that, you know, an 8.5 unemployment rate is kind of the new norm, that kind of what you see is what you get. And I hope that's not our response. I really hope that we can, in the weeks remaining in this session, really put our heads together and get some bills heard in committees and get some bills passed out of committees that can really result in some job creation to put Oregon back to work, because I know my constituents in Cascade Locks are hoping for that, and I think the rest of Oregon outside of this building is really hoping for that as well. So I just wanted to share that with you, colleagues, and hopefully you'll all have some good conversations with your constituents about jobs and economic growth this weekend as you go back to your district. Thank you, Madam Speaker.